Welcome to Scared Confident. I'm your host, Tiffany Souter. So I have shared with you before that my second one is a volleyball player, and with that comes club sports schedule. AAU, it's called club in volleyball. I think basketball is AAU, but you get the idea. Like, we spend 6 months with kind of a bonkers commitment that we've all made. And I have 2 kids younger than her. And so we spend a lot of time. Her practice is a half an hour away. Half of her tournaments are not, within an hour of our house. And so it's just a lot of time away for our family. But the people who I would say get it the worst are my littler kids, my 8-year-old and my 3-year-old, because they are in the car and they are sitting in bleachers. And while they might care for like 10 minutes a game, for the most part, they just want to be kids and they just want to play. And so I'm sharing my number one tip that I feel like has made this just a way better experience for them. And it helps me get on top of things much more quickly. So if you have younger kids, you know that like they don't want to watch the game, watch the swimming, watch the whatever. And so you need other things for them to do. Well, one strategy is to hand them an iPad. And I'm not totally, too good for that, but it is not my favorite thing to have them do for what can be like sometimes 3-4 hours. Like, that is a long time. Your eyeballs are going to fall out of your head. And sometimes they just like actually literally get done with it. And so what I have done instead is I've created a system, as you might expect. In our laundry room, we have like these 2 great big, cabinets that open, like 2 doors. And I have 3 big bins in there. One is like coloring and notebooks and new crayons and markers, where the lid matches the actual marker color and they all work, activity books, that kind of stuff. One bin is like little trinkety toys things. So it might be like a Ziploc filled with like a mini Barbie and 3 outfits and a like little bed, or, I'm blanking on the name of those like little figurines. They're like elephants and they're like animals. I'm blanking on them, but like that kind of stuff where they can play make believe, but it's all very contained and there's like something to do with them. And then one bin is, what is the third bin? The third bin is games. It's like I have a Simon Says thing. I have a digital tic-tac-toe, like that kind of stuff. And then in my pantry, I have a bin that is like to-go snacks that are not only filled with sugar, And so when I know we have a tournament that's coming up or a practice we need to drive to or someplace we need to go where the little kids are going to be sitting for a while, I have a backpack. And I load it with new stuff, quote unquote, new stuff. So there's different things in there every single time. And maybe I switch out 50% of it, but you get the point. Every time they open it, they're like, oh, there's something new in here. Oh, I remember this from 6 weeks ago. Like, oh, I love this little Barbie figurine. And it is a way of keeping them paying attention to this bag. Last year, I feel like what I realized is I had bought stuff for this backpack and I was like, well, they'll just play with this stuff every single game, every single drive across town, whatever. And they open it up and they're like, I've already seen all this stuff. And they close it and they like go back to whining and complaining and wanting to know if they can go to the concession stand. So it has been awesome. So how I keep it filled with stuff is I'll just go to Amazon when I'm ordering other stuff and I'll search for like toys for girls 8 to 10 years old or whatever. And I'll just like add some stuff to cart. I hijack and steal away things from like their stockings. They'll probably get a Valentine's Day basket from like my mom and my mother-in-law. I'll just have half of that stuff will disappear and I'll put it in these baskets. If I walk into Target and there's like the dollar area, I'll like run through it and see if there's stuff that might be good to throw in there. So I'm not spending a gajillion dollars at all on this stuff. I found this paint with water book that was of unicorns. Like it's like painting, but you just like dip the water in a brush, which I always have a water bottle, and paint. It was $1.99. Amazing. So I'm just like kind of curating and we have this basket of stuff. And then this weekend I had Ivy go through it all and like throw out all the stuff that's like no longer cool. We're done with this. There's no more color, pages to color, whatever, because I wanted to feel like fresh and curated and exciting when you open it. You remember that as a kid when you open like a crisp new like box of markers, it was like, this is so rad. A brand new thing of Crayola markers is like $2.79. It is not expensive. And so I just started to see my little girls as like a customer of this experience too. And I don't have time to drive to Target when we're on the way to a tournament because I'm never running early to anything. I don't need to buy everything new. Sometimes it's just like stealing stuff out of your house that they don't play with every single day that becomes new when you go to these tournaments or you're driving to practice. So anyway, this is my number one tip to make club sports a little bit more survivable for what might be your younger little kids. I don't actually have any tips for how to make it survivable for parents. Teasing. It's fun to watch your kid. It's a lot of effort, but it's hilarious. Okay. Anyways, that's what we're doing. Thanks. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Scared Confident. Until next time, keep telling fear. You will not decide what happens in my life. I will.